I took my daughter to pick her driving license. It's almost 20 years since I had mine. Wow, times have changed. It was in the 90s, I was in campus.
I was walking down my house and I saw a driving school, and it was exactly where I was looking for a school.
I was in Jomo Kenyatta University. Anybody who was in the Faculty of Agriculture had the privilege of being allowed in their third year to drive a tractor, and then you would actually be able to get a license. We register. I call my dad and I say, we are having the privilege of getting driving licenses in school. Would you send me 1,500 for getting the driving license, or 3,000? I don't know how much you were paying, including the lessons. There I am. I'm excited.
It was a vibe. Teachers were so funny and everything. I can say it was an experience, and I'm
actually the best driver in class. By then, all the tests are done by policemen. We are taught the board. I cram it, man. I'm a campus student. That means I pass my exams. So I'm not that bad, I'm sharp. The inspector comes on the day of the test and I'm reading it like a zoology exam. Lucky man, I read for this thing. I really saw. We used to go 1-1. So I remember I got in. The man that was examining me looked at me. Now the look was so menacing. I just freaked out, I just so scared. So we first would go to the board and ask all the signs. I had crammed it. I don't like cramming. This one I had crammed it.
The day of exams, for some reason there was an exchange. There was something happening with the NTSA this year. Exams were kind of like pushed to the next year. We got a call when I was in Rwanda now. People who do manual, good for you. Good for you, because I don't like it. That was actually one of my fears. Bless you guys who make these videos on YouTube for driving, because it saved my life.
Then we went to the car table, where you drive the model car. So I went to drive the model car. My God, I don't know what I did. Up to date, I don't know what I did. I probably drove around the roundabout the wrong direction, or I don't know what I did, but that officer shouted at me. He shouted at me.
It was really tough, I won't lie, but it wasn't as intense as Mom was saying. Kind of everyone passed, including me, I think. After that, I did not even know what was happening, and he kicked me out. He was so angry with me, he kicked me out. I've been to Jomo Kenyatta University, all the land that moves from Juja down. I hear it's been sold, most of it, but by then we could walk, probably 10-15 kilometers without coming back. I walked until I got to the end of the farm. I guess even workers have never gotten to that end of the farm. Basically, it's out there in the world. I did the test about 10. I probably got to that end at maybe 12 midday. I sat there and man, I cried. I cried so much. 12 to 1 to 2. I'm alone. I don't care if they're animals. I don't care that they are bad people. I just didn't want to go back to campus. But at 4, you know how the sun is starting to go down, and you know that you walked for 2 hours. So if you don't start walking back, it's gonna be a problem. I'm so excited about the driving license. I think all my friends thought that I would get it. So when they couldn't find me, I think they all scattered. They all looked for me. So at about 4:30, they see a figure coming. I'm like, oh my God. When he comes close, I see, it's my friend. So I noticed that I think when he's a kilometer or half a kilometer away from me, I cried. So that is my story. So to cut the long story short, I was broken. I had no license. Was it a requirement to have a car?
No, there's no requirement to have a car. A car is a status quo. In Africa, car is still a status quo. So I remember even when I did the test, it's not because I had my own car or even I had a dream of owning my own car. It's just that I was doing field work. And up to that point, my employer used to employ a driver to take me around. So my boss was like, why can't you drive? He was white. If it was African, then you'd have said, okay, she's a woman, she should be driving. But of course I had trauma. That's why I didn't also done my driving. It was more I really am grateful because I would have probably stayed a little bit longer until probably I bought my own car.
Like, how were the teachers to you? These teachers, were they the ones examining you?
No.
So why were they rude?
I think they were just demotivated. For me also, I was very heavily pregnant.
There were a lot of people who used to come for driving.
Of course, there are a lot of people, but I also think because maybe I was pregnant.
But then did you do it in Nairobi?
No, in Nyeri.
Oh.
So I think he felt like was I pushing? Why is a woman? Because then also not many women did driving.
Yeah.
So why is a woman and then a pregnant woman insisting on doing it? Once doing practice with one, it was like, Mama, so you just go and give birth and come back after. I don't think he meant in a bad way, but I didn't take it that way.
For me, my teachers were actually very satirical.
Very nice.
No, like funny. Like our classes used to be comedy classes all the time, and by practical, I think I'll even put a video.
Wezi maintain haya pole pole hapo usipunguze hiyo mguu ikae hapo. Haya clutch pole pole clutch. Pole pole si mara moja tigai mwadhari. Wacha kanyaga break umezima gari.
Okay.
Sikiliza tuko kwa mafuta na clutch.
Like my practicals were literally just comedy shows. He used to give us sweets.
I think you should have that teacher for your YouTube channel. I had an angel for a teacher, but
teachers,
yeah,
there are two teachers.
But the inspectors,
inspectors are the people testing you.
Yes, they are so bad.
That's also the different thing. You guys were tested by police officers,
and they were rude. And then they always
the normal ones that are on the
bribe.
road.
I think just the same. Then they probably just selected. And I came to realize that not all police officers have driving licenses, so I don't even know how they test. So they would be so angry and rude. But what I didn't realize is they expected a bribe. So both times, so the first time I was kicked off because probably I didn't bribe, and the second time, I mean, there's no way you'd miss a mistake. That's what happened the second time. I was kicked out. Because of it was a repeat, I did very well. And then I think I did the in theory. And then when I came to the board, I can't remember actually what mistake I made on the board again. I remember the trauma of the years before. But I was kicked out and told to go.
Actually, he told us to stay.
When I applied for my passport in campus first year, it just got lost. For years, I almost missed the trip. Actually, migration had made for me a special passport travel. I didn't even have an original passport. Otherwise, I would have missed the trip. And my uncle worked in Nyayo House. So imagine if somebody is not even related. So the system has really changed from the 90s to
Isn't
now.
that like an interesting thing for you to see? Because like when we went to get my driving license, so the process was easy. I had to pay 3,000 online, not to an individual. I pay online. I get my smart DL. I pay like 750 more, and then it's sent. And then right after that, I get my smart DL.
Exactly.
Like there's no process.
Exactly. I think you even had to brave the chief. What the chief had to do with anything?
We complain a lot.
Kenya has changed,
but it has really
lot.
Like it's. My mom was like, the whole entire.
You just. I was there. I was in Rwanda.
Same to my ID. You remember?
Yes, you came from Rwanda, and I was like, so I was telling that let's pray for Kelish and Sami. They're doing their driving test today. I didn't even want to call you because I didn't want to hear the bad news. And then you didn't even call me because you forgot. And that because you kept quiet, you didn't pass. And I called you. She said, see, I passed. It's like how Kenya has really changed. And of course, there's unscrupulous people.
I don't know why I'm saying yes. I really don't know how much that's changed.
You have no idea. I remember my dad for my ID going to, and we had a relative that worked with the ID people, and it took so long because she had to do what I'm thinking. If you don't have a relative, what happens? I guess you would stay for years without an ID. I have to tell you what happened that day after I was kicked out because I still got the license. So up I realized this one in Kenya, if you didn't have God, you just better go to Uchawi, like just go find a witch doctor. You see, I was told to go. I was like, I'm not leaving this place without a license. I have to go with a license.
So you went back to the class?
No,
I just see him. I was told to go, so I didn't go. Everybody else went who didn't pass. So me, I just sat there. And everybody went for lunch. Remember, I'm heavily pregnant. I'm about to have a baby like next week. So I look actually quite weird there, like a duckling. So I wobbled out of the gate. I remember walking that place in Mary and praying and asking God, building my faith. I did not even know how, because once they have thrown you out, there's nothing you can do. They used to have a paper sort of written waiting card, a receipt of sort. Now I don't really know what happened, but this policeman woke up. He's the same guy that had thrown me out. I don't know if he forgot he threw me out. I don't know what happened, but he told me, "You." I even looked around. Who is he calling? It's like, you. Hey, mama. I thought he's gonna quarrel me and insult me, and he said, "Here." He wrote to me and gave me the waiting card. I looked at it, checked my name, almost questioned, but I thought he might change his mind. And that's how it was. And I just got that by driving license like a miracle. And for everybody it was almost impossible to pass those exams.
That's what we just wanted to talk about, like how different Kenya was.
20 years ago.
My mom was literally like open mouth the whole time. There's even somebody working with ice cream.
I know. Like,
we ate ice cream while getting my driving license.
I've meant, if you're watching, remove guys that are like old like me and they even some older than me in those offices. Put young people. This is how this country is going to run. I was really impressed.
This is just one of the things that we thank God for. Because
Kenya is a beautiful country.
Because I remember that's the same idea we had when I was getting my ID. You were like, Helen, they're going to eat you up when you go there alone. Nothing happened.
It was a very
In fact,
simple process.
this woman was so
helpful.
Yeah, like she was rooting for single moms out there, even though mom is not single. Tell us, how was your process of getting your driving license, whether you were old or young? I want to know what the difference is in the comment section. All right, bye.